Welcome everyone. Welcome to Science You Had Me at Hello. My name is Melissa Rancourt and I'm the founder and board president of Greenlight for Girls, as well as an engineer, an entrepreneur, and an educator. And it's my great pleasure to welcome you to today's episode. So this broadcast series is designed to help inspire the next generation in science. And how do we do that? By asking awe-inspiring individuals to share their stories. And the word that comes to mind when I think of the speakers today is independence. In fact, this is a great theme that we're going to keep building on from today and hearing more all about it, and even a special experiment at the very end. So this broadcast is brought to you by Greenlight for Girls, an international organization that works around the world to create hands-on STEM learning for everyone, with a particular focus to girls of all ages and backgrounds. And today is because of some very special partners, namely Vodafone, who we're doing a special series, and joining us today, HSBC. Today in our virtual studio audience, we have all of you, and we welcome from around the world. In fact, I know we even have some schools who've joined from Luxembourg today, so a special shout out to you. But we have so many other countries that are not only following us right now live in the studio, but also live across 5 platforms and watching this even after the fact. So today is about all of you. So welcome everyone. We've invited onto the stage 3 amazing speakers. And in a moment, they're going to share that spark, that moment that inspired them in their professional journey. And we'll ask more about who they are and what they do. So take note. In fact, get ready to take notes. So make sure you have a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen or your favorite marker handy, because I'm going to ask you to do something in just a moment. And also you have that paper in case all that inspiration you hear and see, you can jot down, and who knows how that could help you any point in the future. So now it's my pleasure to introduce and bring onto the stage some very, very special people. And first, I am going to start with Nadya Bhettay. I'm going to ask you to turn on your video. Thank you, Nadya, for being here. Nadya is a Chief Operations Officer of Ventures and Partnerships at Vodafone Group. So she's an amazing, impressive background, but across many, many different areas: finance, business, accounting, leadership, and she's gone from investment banking to understanding and really taking the Vodafone business to a new way of serving its customers. And it's all about digital nowadays, right? So she's really diving into that for the challenges in today's world. So Nadya, thank you so much for being with us. So now I'd like to bring on stage, and Nadya, you can come back and join us and stay on. And I'm going to bring on stage Alex Schmidt Mintkin. So if Alex, you can join us. It's great to see you. So Alex has over 21 years of experience in the banking industry. In fact, she started when she was 16 years old at the bank. So I take special note of that because you know why? We often have Greenlight girls who come into events who say, hey, I want an internship. So they come and they say that at any age, sometimes 12. So be ready for that. In any case, she started at that young age and has really flourished along the years. She's gone into management, business, innovation, and she's currently working as the Chief Operating Officer of HSBC. She has the chance to travel around the world, and she values being part of an international team in which people with a very different cultural background work closely together. I can only mirror this. Alex, it's such a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much. And our third speaker, I'm going to ask Anna Salewski to join us on stage. And Anna, it's great to see you. Anna is founder and CEO of Scroble, an app that helps to simplify the shopping experience by helping to curate items when you need, wherever you need, by bringing people back in store with local information. Can't wait to hear all about this. In any case, Anna is a serial entrepreneur and investor, and she specializes in legal, commercial, financial fields, as well as business management. And equally, she's a disruptor and visionary. 2 of my favorite words, Anna. This is wonderful. So with this, I want to thank the 3 of you for being here, and especially with this special topic that we have here today. and with people who are watching not only live here in the studio, but then also live stream and across many, many different platforms after the fact. So we're going to hear from you in a moment. Before I dive in and ask some questions, I just want to say this one thing is this phrase. So science, you had me at hello. You might recognize it because we borrowed it from a quote from a movie. But the idea behind it is to share the moments that motivate us to do something, to be part of something bigger, to create, to come up with solutions for people or situations that need us. And the word science means everything, from the subject itself, to the connection to STEM, to the idea of discovery, curiosity, and possibilities. This is what we're here about, and this is what we want to ask about your one moment of inspiration. What I will ask is for everyone who's here today, I told you about that piece of paper. What I'd like you to do is, for those of you who are in our audience, take that blank sheet of paper, just seeing if I have something in front of me. Here's a blank sheet of paper, and fold it in half. And as we go on, what I'd like you to do is on one side of the paper, I'd like you to think about something that interests you, your favorite subject, anything at all, maybe your favorite subject at school, and write and draw anything about that subject. And as you go on, I'd like you to flip that over and put down another interest that you have that seems to be completely different. It could be maybe your favorite sports. It could be your favorite hobby at home, the favorite thing that you like to do when you're not in school, whatever that might be. So do that on the other side. So I offer that as an idea. We'll come back to that in the breakout rooms in just a moment, but take a look at that. We'll bring it back to what it means for independence as well. But until then, I'd like to ask some questions. And Nadya, I'm going to start with you. So when you think of that spark, that start, that you kind of think back, and when I think back, it could be, when we're little, or it could be a little bit later, it could be yesterday. We could be waiting for that spark, whatever it is. What comes to mind when you think of that spark of inspiration?
Thanks so much, Melissa. For me, the spark it started really small. I used to love to dance and I loved music, but I am quite old. So way back then, what that meant was I was stuck with the most frustrating little machine called the Walkman, which could last only 1 hour. Firstly, because of battery power, and secondly, because it had a tape in it, believe it or not, that couldn't go more than an hour. This was the most frustrating thing. And I was so excited when I saw something like the iPod, and oh my gosh, and now we have these fabulous things. I do work for Vodafone. For a phone which can do all of that, it never runs out because we always connect it to something. And so for me, it was just super important and super exciting to see how technology can just, completely transform and make somebody's life so much easier. For me, I can access my music on the go. I was probably the first customer for the iPod when that little thing came out. I was super excited. And the other thing that really inspired me was I spent a weekend trying to work away at a maths problem because I really wasn't getting it. And I suddenly had a eureka moment. And I happened to be writing an exam that week, and I got top marks in the class from something that was really, I was fairly mediocre before then. And sort of the two things together, seeing how technology can make could evolve and become a lot easier, and then my maths marks, I just saw how that opened up so much for me, and things that I could do, because people stopped talking to me about just studying law or something like that at university, and I could talk about things like biotech and e-commerce and all sorts of things. So I love technology, and I really love how it makes people's lives easier, and of course how it connects people. So yeah, that's my spark, seeing how fantastic and how amazing technology has evolved and just it makes the world go round. Sorry, I am a connectivity freak.
Thank you, Nadya, for sharing that. I love that. It's amazing what inspiration can come to us. And it's also amazing to think of the things that we used in the past and how things have changed so much. And when you said Walkman, I was like totally going back. Like, I remember. And don't you have those moments sometimes where you think, what did we do before mobile phones? How do we tell people how to get to, like, that we were going to be late, or how to meet me at the cafe, or all these kind of basic stuff that we take for granted because we have technology so much embedded in our lives today.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. I also love how you mentioned the idea of solving a problem and how that gave you your own inspiration. That it's, there are subjects out there that seem out of reach because they can be hard. They really can. It's also in the way that we look at them, how they're presented, all that kind of stuff. But at some moment, there's this moment of, whoa, wait a second, I can do this,
Yes.
And then that opens.
And it's so exciting. It really is so exciting, absolutely. And sometimes the hard part is the fun part, because I sat there that weekend and I just went through it, and as it, slowly dawned on me, and I was like, oh, this could be really awesome. And it was so much fun in the end. So sometimes going through the hard stuff actually gets to real fun stuff in the end.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I imagine that the course felt different after that exam, the subject itself. Like once you solve that, you're like, okay, well, come on, bring it. What's the next one?
Yeah, it was bring it on. Bring me more. I cannot wait to see more. And it was, let's go from challenge to challenge. And as I said, the most exciting part was how this new world opened up that was everything from, biotech to online shopping. I now could go and find out a whole bunch of other stuff about what happens behind the scenes to make online shopping something more pleasurable and something that can, bring the right thing up at the right time so that you can really buy what you want. So yeah, I really do. I really am fascinated by technology and really love understanding how things get to work behind that. So it's a super exciting world, and no matter, yes, as a girl, I was lucky enough for parents who encouraged me. So I had no challenge there, and my dad was very happy to say, he demanded excellence in all of these tricky subjects. He demanded the high marks. So it's always great to have the support. But even for the naysayers, it was really, why did you really want to do that? Why do you want to do? Because I took maths, physics, science, biology, a lot of science topics in school, because you had to if you wanted to get to some of the more serious degrees. And I must say it was absolutely fascinating. And and some naysayers along the way, but thankfully a lot of support. So,
right. Well, sometimes actually the naysayers can actually give you that great push to go, yep, no,
I'm going to show you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. This is great. I'm going to turn this over to Alex. Alex, tell us, what's that spark of curiosity, that moment that may have led to you to where you are now? And don't forget to unmute the. Great.
So it should work. Just takes a little bit longer sometimes. So, well, actually, I'm not sure if I can say that it's one specific moment, right? What I found out is actually, even in the age when I was 13, 14, 15, right? I think I got the feedback quite often that I'm good in problem solving. So what happened naturally was person A had a problem with person B. We were close friends all together, and people then asked me how to overcome this argument and what to do. And actually then afterwards I found out what I liked is I was, even when I was really young, I was able to break it down to the facts and to the data, right? And right now, if someone is asking me, what are you doing on a day-to-day basis? I have to admit, 80% of my daily work is problem solving. So it's not any longer my family or friends, sometimes still the family and the friends, don't get me wrong. But now clients and my colleagues who have to overcome obstacles. And what I then added with my studies while I was already working was actually that I'm able right now to choose specific kind of methods, right? So I'm trained right now on a kind of systematic and logical approach of problem solving. And this is what I really enjoy and like. And then some people in the past did something really good to me. They told me that I will not be capable. And it's the best gift that I ever got from someone, because I'm really competitive. And always, if someone is telling me you will not gonna get this job, or you will not gonna be able to do something, I get this extra portion of motivation, and then I want just to do it. This is where I get my inspiration from as well.
Oh, I love that. And we're just building off of what Nadya said too. It's the naysayer, or the someone who comes right out and says you're not able or capable of doing this. And it is like a gift, just like you said, Alex. It's a little gift. It's, I mentally thank people. I don't necessarily thank them to their face, but I mentally thank them for giving me that extra push of like, yeah, okay, I wasn't sure before. Now I'm definitely going to do it. So it's possible. This is great. You know what I love about the problem solving that you mentioned, it does help us to understand a bit more of why we learn the things we do growing up. And maybe I say that because I've got a 12-year-old at home, and we sit down and we go through the problems, the math problems, written out, and why do we need to know that the so and so wants to buy so many apples, and la 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 la, all that kind of stuff. But really, a lot of these subjects, whether it's in school growing forward or in university, they're teaching us little by little and big steps by big steps on the complexity and how to deal with complexity. And the more that we can really tap into this, the more that we are being turned to, like you are, which is to say, hey, could you please help us solve this tremendous problem? Because you need to be able to think creative, think differently. So this is what I think of when you were saying this.
I think what I would like to add is as well, it gives you actually a chance to handle emotions a little bit better, because you will quite often find out that each and every time, if someone is telling you something about a complaint or an argument or something like this, you're dealing with emotions, right? But then if you are able to bring it down to the facts, the reality and the emotion of the person, it's a completely different kind of story, right? And it helps this person then to handle it easier as well. And this is what I love about it.
Yeah, it's the combination. It's the people side is very important. That's why also when someone says to me, oh, but I would love to do engineering, but I want to work with people. Whew, I mean, yes, it's together. It's the same. In fact, you need to have a great understanding of a human-centric aspect to everything in life in order to be able to get and help people in so many different ways. So it's exactly what you're mentioning. Thank you so much, Alex. I would turn this to Anna. Anna, so tell us, what was that moment, if you think back, the back, or yesterday back, or whatever that is, that moment that inspired you to where you are today?
Yes, I can relate pretty much to what Alex said, in that sense that there is, for me, also not a particular moment at all. So it's about your character, and my character is very curious character. So I was questioning as a child everything, just everything, every second. And yeah, this is something what you have as a path. For me, it started in childhood, and this curiosity, this natural curiosity, if you just live it, you just give the free way to express all this, what you think is maybe not right, or maybe can be reshaped. And there are many things in this world which can be reshaped, believe me. They should be reshaped also. So just to rebel in the good sense. It's something what I personally like to do, to reconnect the dots, to see the opportunities where nobody see them. It's actually why I'm also went the path of entrepreneurship and not employment. I was employed in the bank just to found out for myself that it's not my path. So I'm thankful for this experience, but also this was showing me the natural part of myself and giving me the opportunity to take this path and to create things. So next to my entrepreneurship and all what I have done, I'm also an inventor, for example, which is the thing which I'm very proud of, because it reflects this curiosity, this rebel mentality, but not only like a theory. It's something real. Everyone can do this, and every girl can do this. We are all capable of creating new things, bringing it to the world. But what I also like to do, and this is maybe the concluding part of myself, is that I like to see the things changed. It's for me, it's not only this theoretical part of thinking, creating, and then forgetting about this, let's say like this, but I like to see things realized. For me, it's really essential and important when I start a project that I bring it to the point when I see the results. And yeah, through my entrepreneurship journey, I have made a lot of projects which enable me now also to invest in what I'm doing.
This is lovely. Yeah. This is a great message too, because it's also very linked with all three of what we've said here with the word independence. So there's an independence. The first thing that comes to mind is, and I'm sure that all of you are the same, first thing that comes to our mind is that being confident, being capable, having everything at our realm to be independent as far as being the one to lead the way. But there's a lot of other aspects of independence that can help. And then these are some of the questions in the chat, both on our virtual studio, but then also our live stream, which is about the skill sets that we need to be able to build along the way so that we can make choices. We can take a look and go into different directions, whatever we might do. In fact, this is a perfect point, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this into our breakout rooms. And some of the questions that has been highlighted here and live stream, I'm going to bring back when we come back into our main session. So in our breakout rooms, what I'd love you to be able to do is to take the chance to tell more about who you are, your background, your story. You'll have some of our students from the virtual studio in the room with you, others who will be watching from afar later on. Those of you who are on our live stream across 5 channels, it's been wonderful to see you, and you're going to have to tune in later, because not only will you want to check out what's happening in these special sessions, you're going to want to also see our experiment at the end too, because that's really cool. So you're going to have to check that out later, but you'll be able to very soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the team to get us ready, because the 3 of you are going to go into your breakout rooms. Take care of that room as your own. And what I'd like all of our participants to do is, hey, get that piece of paper ready. You know how I had you jot down your 2 interests that may seem opposing or independent from one another? In the breakout room, after you hear our amazing speakers and their story, should there be time, maybe you can share by showing a picture of what it looks like and start to talk about actually the connections between the two. Because even seemingly independent things have amazing connections with one another. So that's the idea there. So this is our moment to travel. And those of us who are really just anxious to travel right now and who aren't able to, we're going to travel with this wonderful technology. And I'm thinking about you, Nadya, taking a look at what the future brings. Just mind-blowing, right? Where we are right now, where we were even 5 years ago, 10 years ago, can't even imagine. We're going to be able to actually meet each other. We're going to travel through the air. So pack your virtual bag, and the teams, you're going to see something pop up onto your screen in just a moment, and you're going to go ahead and move.
Great to see, well, not see you, so that I'm glad you've joined us. I'm not sure if you managed to get your challenge through. I hope you did. But if you have any questions, please do let me know. Wanted to tell you a little bit more about my journey, and once I graduated and did well at maths, as I said, I was quite excited by the possibilities. But I did still, I studied finance and became a chartered accountant, and then I went off to investment banking and went to New York with Morgan Stanley, and was really excited to work in the biotech, oil and gas, and those areas where I could, and also e-commerce, where I could get to learn a bit more about the tech side, until I moved into the Vodafone group, which was all around connectivity, etc. And as I said, I love how technology enables us to do things better, to be and makes things so much easier for us, and also challenges us. So I have been excited to being able to win awards, and usually it is the first one, one of the few women in the room winning awards. This picture, I hope you can see it, was around winning award for a deal that we had done where we had bought out the company. We won Deal of the Year, and as you can see, it was by Deal Makers. We won Deal of the Year, and I've been very excited for a lot of my my career to win awards for doing exciting deals that put two companies together to create value and do something exciting with that. This was I was telling the previous group around when I got my award for being the top, I got the top results in the country, for doing my chartered accountants, and this guy couldn't believe that curly haired girls could get top marks. He was very confused that apparently we can't be accountants. This is my family. This was, and I put this picture there because we love having fun. We have lots of theme parties.
Nadya, sorry, just to jump in, I can't see the screen. I don't know if it's just me. Can anybody else see the screen?
No.
No, Alan said no.
Okay. Can you see the screen now? Shivani?
No, still nothing.
Oh.
I don't know if it's maybe disabled. No, it's come through now. It's come through now. Yep, got it.
Okay. All right. Well, this one is another example of, or one of the things that I say that's very important for me is having my goals around me, and all of them being fabulous. I have fashion designer. I have a banker who's CEO of one of the top banks on the continent, and I have a writer and do a published book. So very important. This was our theme party for Studio 54. That's me in the middle in the red, and so important to have fun. And important to have a group of people around you who support you and support your journey, and that's an important part for me. I just want to get out of that. Hi there, Alan. So we had it's been a wonderful journey for me. I am very glad that I went into something that was probably against the grain. Everybody at my school at the time was going into things that were very, the arts and more creative things, especially the girls. And I'm so glad that I chose a different path. I know that I've had a lot more opportunities. yeah, please, Nina, Alan, Moesha, would love to see you if you could put on your cameras and we could chat. And would love to hear what your challenges are in looking at STEM and how interested you are. Is it something that you're considering? Is it something that you are looking at? As I said, for me, it's been has just opened up so many windows. I've traveled, I've worked in so many places. I've worked in London, I've worked in New York, I've worked in India, I've worked in Ireland. It's just been such an awesome, fantastic experience, meeting so many people and being challenged by different cultures, different experiences, because even technology, maybe this somewhat similar, but it's different in every in every place, in every culture, depending on what it is, what's the problem that you're really trying to solve. So, Alan, maybe do you want to tell us a little bit more around what is it that you do and what's your interest in STEM, on the STEM side? Yes, no? Okay. Alan's not willing to be put on the spot. Nina, are you wanting to come in at all? Hi.
Hi. I just want to say thank you for sharing your story. It's like really interesting, and I love hearing about how people got to where they are now. I joined this web call just because my biology teacher suggested to a lot of the girls in our grade to join it, and I can see why, because it's really interesting, the different speakers. Me personally, I'm quite interested more in the biology aspect of science. And I just wanted to ask, I know you mentioned before that you took higher maths. Were there any other decisions that you took regarding your lessons or classes that got you to where you are now?
Biology was one of them. I love biology. I loved because it was a lovely still science, which I love, but also a contrast to the physical science was something else that I took. And geography, and I think biology and geography for me were the more, I don't know, real things that you could touch and feel, and you can really, you know, get to understand. And I love the questions that those answered, and all that the questions that actually came up. And then yes, as I said, I did higher maths as well as physical science, and all of those. The one thing that I do a little bit regret is not doing a little bit more history. But honestly, as I said, because it just gives you context around all of those things. But you know, when you've got all of those, you know, the science subjects, and you're enjoying them, they all fill in different buckets, and they all answer, you know, they answer different questions, and you find out what are the things that really, really excite you. And really, the things that excite you are the things that you really should go for. Have faith in yourself, and if you're having fun with something and you enjoy something, you know, go with it and bet on it, and keep studying it.
Okay, I'm so sorry that you can't see me now, because I was so excited to show you my little tiny picture as well that I drew in the small exercise. But anyway, so what we will do, and please feel free, you can turn on your camera if you want to do so. I will start with my introduction. Yeah, my name is very, very German, I have to say, and I am German actually. So I live in Cologne, not alone. You can see on the screen right now, Cologne is the place where my family is. And do you know what? If you are the stepmother of a 16 years old girl and an 18 years old boy, you can't share the photos any longer as you want. So I asked them for the permission to show a picture of them in this little tiny presentation, and actually they declined. So you can just see my husband right now. One of the funny photos of him, and some of my friends celebrating Carnival. And you can see as well the house of my parents, actually. And I always call it my home base. This is the the place to go to when I need to have a little bit of silence around, when I need to reboost my energy, if I have to reload my batteries. Then I go to my parents' place. This little tiny house is in the middle of nowhere in Germany, but it is just 15 meters far away from the forest. And therefore, I have then a decent walk in the forest and calm myself down. In a job that I am doing, what I found out, what is the most interesting part is that I am working closely together with colleagues from everywhere. And here you can see some selfies, and I'm really, really sorry. You can see me with shorter hair. This is what COVID did to me. You've seen me now with longer hair, but it's still the same lady. On the left-hand side, you can see some selfie photos and also a picture from my view when I was based in Mexico City, actually. So I got the opportunity to travel around and to get in touch with many different kind of cultures. On the right-hand side, you see the skyline of Kuala Lumpur and also places that I've visited in India. And this is something what I'm really, really enjoying. And now I use my position a little bit more as well to get in touch with people like you and to share a little bit more about my story, so that you hopefully get a little bit of motivation and I'm kind of inspiring sense out of what we are doing as female leaders working in a field of, let's call it science and STEAM, right? And I do this frequently. So here are some photos, me on stage, talking to various, to very different kind of audiences. And as you can see on the right side, and this picture is a little bit bigger. As you can see, there is this blonde lady, that's me, on the stage in the center. But if you take a look into this on the right side, the other speakers, you will probably see just men. And this is something what happens to me quite often. And this is why I need to get girls like you into the right places so that you can help me to share a little bit more the good stuff and the good stories of what we are doing. I'm really, really enjoying these kind of conversations, and I really would like to listen to you and your thoughts as well. And if you have any questions, please interrupt me at any time. A little bit what I'm doing then with my family and my friends as well. And I just can encourage you to do the same. Be yourself, have a lot of fun. Come together with other girls and other women, ask for support, stay positive. And one of my main topics is always, and you will hear me today in this session quite often, saying something around do not limit yourself. And this is probably the main important message that I want to give to you. Do not limit yourself. Don't think that you are not capable of doing X, Y, Z. It might be that you will fail, and it happens to all of us. But failing is not really a bad thing, because think about it. When do you learn a lot? It's probably most of the time, it is when you did a mistake and when you are failing. And without mistakes, and without failures, you couldn't train yourself. You couldn't develop any kind of skills. So it's really, really important. I think my my main message is to you to really think about and to give it a try, right? Ask other people for their support as well. And each and every time when I'm thinking about independence, for me, it's quite important to let you know as well that independence doesn't mean being selfish. It doesn't exclude other people, and it doesn't exclude to ask others for their opinion and their support. But independence means that you are owning your life. You are creating your miracles that you want to bring in.
I know that we have some lovely questions, and we ask always some special students to get ready with their question, and then we give the chance to actually give the floor to them. And so what I want to do is I want to check, because we've got a special young woman who's in our audience today, and she's in Luxembourg, and I think her name is Gunness, if I pronounce this correctly. Gunness, if you're there, if you want to put on your video, you can. And Gunness is a grade 10 student at the International School of Luxembourg, and she's been interested in STEM for as long as she can remember. That's great. So part of Greenlight for Girls, let me tell you. In any case, I know you have a question, so go ahead and ask one of your questions to the group. If we've got time for two, we're going to do two. Ask one, and then we're going to head back to our session in just a moment. So what do you have for us?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ganesh. Yeah. And I wanted to know what kept you going when you faced any obstacles or felt like you wanted to give up?
Oh, such a great question, Ganesh. Oh,
I think I partially gave already an answer to it. I'm quite competitive, so I did a lot of sports when I was in your age, right? So, which means if I fail, I always want to do it better next time. So, and this is what keeps me going, right? And I think that if you think about it, when do you learn? You don't learn if you feel absolutely comfortable about something. It is always when you think about your little tiny weaknesses and where you have to develop a special kind of skill or something like this. And this is actually keeping me going on. And also that I can support others. That's probably my main driver. So I want to do it better, and I want to support others. And these are my main drivers and my personal motivation. Is it a good answer for you?
Yeah, I think it's a unique answer. I'm not sure, but it makes sense to me. Yeah.
All right, let's hear from Nadya. Nadya, do you have anything to on this one? This is such a great question.
It's not really unique, Ganesh, because it really is, Alex is completely right. It's the hard stuff really where you learn the most, and you come out on the other side. It's so satisfying. It's so much fun to have gone through the challenge. So sometimes, yes, you may feel as if it's very, very hard and that there are lots of obstacles. But I think you need to think about what do you want? What's your end game, really? What is it that you want to be? What is the best of you? So that you're not really letting anything hold you back. I mean, if you think of the fantastic things that have been achieved by so many in the world today, I can assure you that that did not happen easily. And so I really just want you, I think the best thing for you to do is to think about how fabulous, how amazing do you want to be? What is that amazing thing that you want to do? What is that, where do you want to be? And keep focusing on that rather than, these obstacles, which I promise you in 3 years' time, in 5 years' time, whatever the obstacles are now will seem to be completely, tiny compared to what you will get. So just keep pushing through. It's really worth it. And focus on where you want to go, not on things that are holding you back.
Oh, I love this. Thank you. One thing that I do, Ganesh, is I visualize something after the fact. So especially when I'm nervous about something. So if I'm nervous about, especially when I started speaking in front of groups, I was very shy. So I would imagine myself at the end of it, succeeding at the end of whatever it is. And that got me through, because a lot of the obstacles I found, at least in life, were actually coming from inside. Sometimes they're put upon us, but actually the ones that are inside are actually the hardest obstacles to overcome. And this is a great connection. So this question is perfect because it's also related to this overall theme that we're talking about of independence and lots of different ways to look at it. I'm going to turn this over to Anna for a quick comment on this, and then we're going to do some more breakout rooms. Anna, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I would like to tell you maybe one story of myself. It was a, for me, mental break moment. So I was just finishing my school, and because I was living in a big city, I was born in Minsk, and I have applied to study in Minsk. I needed to submit my exams. And on this day when I had my exams, I took a bus. The bus was on the way getting some wheel problems. Was stopping far away, like 3 or 4 kilometers. I don't remember, really far. There was a traffic. I couldn't get another bus. I needed to run. While I was running to my exams in the university, there was starting such a huge rain and I had no umbrella. And I was running like crazy. Everything was wet. Everything. I had no paper. My entire clothes, shoes, everything. It was a hail, and in summer it was crazy weather. And while I was walking through this rain, this rest 2 kilometers, I was thinking, if ever something like this going to happen to me again in life, or something worse, even then I would not give up. And I went to university. I asked people I didn't know to give me a pen, to give me a paper, to give me everything I needed. I found everyone. And even with having wet clothes, I was able to sit and write my exams, and I passed these exams. But if I just remember the obstacles, it's a moment. And doesn't matter what happens to you in this moment, it's just a moment. It should never, ever prevent you from doing things which you want to do.
Oh.
It's my story.
Anna, thank you for sharing your story. I'm going to keep this visual with me for a while, because seriously, the idea of what you went through, and I have to tell you, most of us would be like, okay, there'll be another opportunity.
Yeah. Not for me. I got this study for free, and it was really a struggle to get there. I was pre-studying 1 year to get this unpaid place in the state university in it is the biggest and famous university in the country where I was born. So I was really preparing myself, and then this bus and this rain, no, never anything should and could stop you from your goal. Just set up this goal and say, I'm going for this, I'm living for this, and it's something where nothing can happen in between. Even such things, you can also stop the taxi or whatever, you can try always. There are opportunities, just don't stop. Never give up.
Love it. Thank you so much, Anna. This is very inspiring. And thank you, everyone. It's a great question. Ganesh, I love this question because it's so common to all of us. Happens at so many different time periods, not just maybe something you may be going on through now, but something later on as well. We always go through it, and we need these inspiring words to keep us going. Listen, we need to travel one more time because there's some more people who want to hear your story. So we might do this breakout room a little bit shorter, but please do. So get ready to travel. I've got the team ready. They're going to press the button. We're going to move.
I heard also from Melissa that many questions are coming in regard to how to choose and how to decide on what to do. And my journey is quite a lot connected to this difficulty of decisions on what I want to do. And what I have done, and what was my big luck, and what I can also say is useful to think of for everyone, is that you need to find something what you are really crazy about. And then you need to find another thing what you're less crazy about, but you like to do. You just like to do this. And then follow the combination of both. Well, for me, it was always the curiosity, and I was studying a lot. I was studying 3 times, like quite different areas. I was studying economy, I was studying as a paralegal international tax law, and I was studying also pure legal. So two quite different areas, one connected area, but it was a difficult journey, and I was passionate about what I have done in this moment. And at the end, why I'm telling you this is because what I have done enables me to do what I'm doing now. But I was living at this time in this moment, and I was really enjoying what I have done. So I don't think that anyone nowadays can really say you can start a profession and you will end up with this profession. The things getting much more interconnected. So everything what you learn is in the future anyway very interconnected to many different areas. And I can tell you that for me, for example, the inventive ideas which I got them when I have written my master thesis, partially. Then I have another part of idea when I was just meditating and I was thinking about how to solve particular problems, because I'm a problem solver. But all of this, what I have done, enabled me to think in the way that I was capable to come with a solution. So at the end, and reflecting what I have done and what was a struggle, everything was a piece of this big picture, and everything cannot be disregarded. It's given to you, and if you live the moment, if you're able to recognize what you really love to do, follow your path. It's your path. And it brings you definitely to something great. Because I believe personally, everyone is born to do something special. And we should not be guided by advice of parents, friends, and whoever. Everyone should be guided by advice of the heart. I believe it personally. I live it personally, and I see the success behind. So I can, and as many also successful entrepreneurs can give my advice, share my opinion and experience. It's really helpful to leave something what makes you happy, and whatever it is, it will always bring you to the point where you will step up to a greater career. I'm very sure about this. So the question, is it okay to experiment with subjects that are not connected but we enjoy? Of course. This is all about seeing behind something, something maybe you don't understand, but if it captures your attention, if it makes you, let's say, think about this, or when you work on something and you forget your time, believe me, this is your flow. Follow it. Just trust everything what happens, it brings you to the some result. Because in the future, and I have 2 daughters myself, I see how they learn, and I see how they think, and I reflect a lot of what I have been going through when I was not sure what to do and how to do, and it was actually a big part of my life when I was just curious and I was experimenting, still never knew what exactly I want to do. And the only thing what was guiding me and which I was following, it was the inner feeling, I like what I do. So if you like what you do, whatever it is, I mean, if you like a music or music and mathematics, this is a question which Melissa told me it's been asked very often. And for example, in this case, if you like art and mathematics or music and mathematics, there are many, many things which you connect and relate professionally to these two. Because art and let's say music, it's a lot about creativity, right? And mathematics, it's science which allows you to bring your scientific part. So the combination can be found, for example, in architecture. It's a very nice example for combination of both. Because if you go in the flow of these two, you can look for many professions which are connected to these things which you like to do without being a musician or an artist, but you can express yourself as an artist within a special profession which is related also to mathematics. So it's a kind of experiment, and you need to see what is exactly the thing which makes your heart burn, let's say. What is the thing which makes you think, forget the time when you work on this. This is your flow. This is something what will bring you to a success, definitely. I can assure you. Just follow this flow. And you need maybe sometimes to reflect and see how the things are going and experiment. Because without you try some things, you will never find out.
All right. I see everyone popping in from the room. Welcome back, everyone. Lovely to see you. Okay, great. Alex, I heard that in your room again, some tech issues.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Each and every time when I'm entering a breakout room, my camera turns black.
Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Anna's story, that despite the fact that the bus broke down and despite the fact that it started raining, you kept on going. So you had your tech stop, you had like the sharing screen stop, and you kept on going. I heard that you did a beautiful job. Thank you so much for powering through. Amazing. Listen, what we're going to do is this is one of the parts that I love because it's a surprise even for me. The team likes to surprise me with some experiments. So what we're going to do is we're going to see an experiment related to independence. And then the last thing we're going to do together is some inspiring words. So while we're watching this video, I'd like to ask our three speakers to think about some last words to say to everyone. So I'll ask you that in a moment. And for everyone that's listening in, what I'd like to do is enjoy the experiment we're about to see, but also put some last thoughts to your design of the two supposedly different interests that you have. And we're going to come back to that after the experiment really briefly before we hear from everyone. So team, everyone at G4G, I think we're ready to watch.
Hello and welcome to our G4G Atelier office. Today we are all about independence. In science, independent variables are ones that stand alone and aren't changed by the other. But in life, that can be hard. It often takes lots of different experiences and lessons to figure out how to stand on your own in your career, as well as becoming financially or digitally independent. We heard from some incredible role models in STEM fields for all their tips and tricks on becoming independent. But now it's time to learn the secrets from physics for how to stand alone. Get ready to experiment with us as we use independent pieces together to create a strong structure able to seemingly defy gravity. Ready? Let's get experimenting. In this experiment, we will build a three-dimensional gravity-defying structure where its pieces will be able to stand on their own and seem to levitate freely in the air. How? Using tensegrity. It's a combination of tension and compression that will create strength and resilience when our pieces are put together. You'll need to make this piece 4 times. You'll need to make this piece 10 times. You'll need to make those 2 pieces 8 times each. Now is the time to assemble your first set of pieces. Grab all of them and fix them together. Do the same for the second set of pieces and assemble. Our structure defies gravity when push and pull, which are 2 opposite forces, are in perfect balance. A true win-win relationship. Tensegrity is actually used everywhere around us. For example, in bridges, buildings, telecommunication towers, and more. This freestanding science uses the same principles by which biological structures like animals or the human body are made super strong. For example, we see muscles and bones act in unity to strengthen each other, so the structure of our body can stand independently. From this experiment, we learn that when we have an internal balance, also called synergy, opposing forces can perfectly coexist to achieve the strongest and most independent structures possible, or even defy gravity. Thanks for watching, and we cannot wait to see you on the next episode of Science You Had Me at Hello.
Oh, great. Thank you so much to the team. So this video will be available should you want to play it again, just in case the connection was a little bit wobbly, but also so that you can pause it and also try it on your own. And I love this idea of defying gravity, and also how this word independence brings it all back together with where we started. So, hey, that design exercise that you did, seemingly two opposing things as far as interests, open up that piece of paper, look at it differently, and see how they're connected. In fact, at Greenlight for Girls, we love seeing how what seems like two opposing things could be connected, especially when someone says to us the magical words of, oh, that's not related to science. Reminds me of that earlier conversation of what actually gets us going is when someone says something is not possible. Actually, what we all believe in is anything is possible. So let's try it together. But take a look at the things that seem to be two different interests that you may have. The independence between them is great, but also the connections. And it's those connections that keep us going and actually also strengthen our independence as we go forward. And we also talked about some conversations about skill building, building those confidence. And that great question that we had from Ganesh, which was, how do you keep on going, with some amazing, inspiring words from everyone. So keep that to heart. But to end this today, I'm going to ask that final question of what would you do to inspire those students that you've met today, those students for the future, those looking at what the next great thing that they should dive in and do, whatever comes to mind. And Nadya, I'm going to turn to you. What are words of inspiration that you can give us today?
Thanks so much, Melissa. So for me, I think what's important for me is that you will be completely and utterly amazed what could happen if you really just take a leap of faith in yourself. And you know, as I said, the world is amazing. When you take a leap on a leap of faith and bet on yourself, and if you really enjoy STEM, please choose it. Choose it as a subject. Study it. You choose it as a subject, choose it as a side hustle, choose it at whatever you do, but really bet on yourself and actually do it. Take that leap of faith and keep on doing it and challenge yourself to see how far it can really go, because this world is absolutely amazing at what it can allow you to do if you just believe in yourself and take that leap. So please do keep on studying. Please keep on pushing through, and I look forward to seeing what happens with the fantastic STEM graduates that come from here.
Oh, this is great. Thank you so much, Nadya. It reminds me of that great quote that actually has inspired me along the way, which says, "Leap and the net will appear," which is always what I think of when I think of that word leap, which is just a lovely word. So thank you for this. I'm going to turn this to Anna. Anna, what words do you have for us to inspire us for the future?
Well, I have myself two girls. I need to inspire them also time to time, and they're also asking me the same question. And they see an example, if I can be an example for them, I hope, at least. So for me, happiness. You need to see that you are happy. We are born, everyone, to be happy. And whatever path, whatever way brings you to STEM or not brings you to STEM, you should be happy. We are all born for that. And it's my personal belief. Everything what I have done in my life, I followed the path of my heart. I did it because it made me fun. It was something what I have created, which made me also happy at the end. And I truly believe that this is the thing we need to keep in front of our eyes, that we feel ourselves good, and whatever job we choose, it's a job which should fulfill us, be personally connected to who we are. And I am an example of someone who was never being in STEM at the beginning. But through my journey and through everything I've done, I came to this. So it's also possible. And if I reflect on the path and what I have done, every single stone on this road had its meaning. And even if I studied law or economy, I'm using it now. I'm using it in STEM, and I'm able to do what I do only because I went through this path. And I was always, and I really advise everyone, follow your heart, see what makes you happy. And this will always bring you to success. Never compromise to what friends think, or maybe, I don't know, somebody advise you. You are the single person who knows what is good for you. And this is my advice.
Thank you so much, Anna. Lovely words to heart. And Alex, tell us inspiring words for the future.
I think my words are: don't limit yourself. Stay away from conclusions someone else is taking on behalf of you. Stay curious, stay open-minded, invest time in development and learning. Look rather at the future instead of putting too much energy into looking what happened in the past, because you can't change it. It already happened. And when you are doing so, be ready to fail, because it will happen, but then get ready as well to stand up again and create your own story. And that's probably the summary of what was already said.
No, this is brilliant. Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you, Nadya. Thank you, Anna. Amazing, inspiring words. We need to hear this at various times of our life, but it's wonderful to be able to inspire those that are starting off with what should I learn? Where should I go in the future? What should I do? And the message to everyone is to take a look at all of the interests that you want to explore, that idea of curiosity, the idea of just trying and seeing, because you never know what direction you may want to go in. And especially with that goal in sight of being happy and fulfilled, as Anna said, but then taking a look and really taking that leap of faith, as Nadya said as well. So thank you, everyone. I'm going to actually do one last thing, and that is to invite anyone who wishes to turn on their video for a final wave, because it's a lovely way to end. It's a great hour and 15 minutes we've had together. It's always such a pleasure. I always end up getting inspired. I know we do this for everyone else, but I end up getting inspired. So this is lovely. So a big, big thank you to everyone. And anyone else who wants to put on their screen, feel free. Some of you I know are waving without the camera on. Thank you. In any case, bye everyone. It's been a lovely time together, and we'll see you at the next Science You Had Me at Hello.